Puka Nacua saying that he wants to be done. He wants to retire. What? Not right
What?
away. He wants to retire at age 30. He aims to say
Oh,
he
okay.
says that he aims to retire at 30. He's 23 years old right now. That's something that has kind of been in the Rams style as of lately, looking at Aaron Donald, what he did. Quote, Nacua said, I know I want to retire at age 30. I'm 23 right now. I'm going into year 3. It wouldn't even be 10 years. It may be 7 or 8. I think of Aaron Donald to go out on at the top. I think that'd be super cool. Now, obviously, Donald's going to be a Hall of Famer, an absolute stud. When you think about him leaving at 10 years of play, I originally think, wow, Hall of Famer, great. Sucks that he's leaving. But at the same time, that's a guy that was in the trenches. 10 years in the trenches is a lot different than 10 years at a wide receiver spot.
Yes.
When you think of this and talking about Nacua and already saying that he wants to leave at 30, he's going to make a lot of money in the next couple of years. He stepped up to be one of the best receivers in the NFL already. In the 2023 season, he set an NFL record for most receiving yards and receptions by a rookie. And then last year, he had almost 1,000 yards with 3 touchdowns. And he even missed some time during that one. So almost 1,000 yards. And I think he only played in 11 games, if I remember correctly. So with that being said, he's going to be a receiver that if everything pans out and no crazy injuries happen, we're going to be talking about him probably leaving on top. This could be another Megatron situation at age 30, leaving at the very tippy top. Do you like this? Probably good for him, but as for the league, I can't stand it.
I know it's a 50-50, right? Are you a player guy or are you a league guy, or can you be both? How do you play that card? My mind
Or a
instantly goes
fan
to
guy,
Tyler.
like just being a fan
Right.
guy. What side are you on there?
No, I know it's tough. It's tough to answer that. I think my mind instantly goes to Tyler Lockett, and I'll probe you on this one. How do you feel about Tyler Lockett? Kind of just going down as opposed to taking the hits on so many of his catches,
It's
because
worked
that's
for him. It's worked. Small guy, having to deal with it longevity wise. I mean, it's
longevity.
worked all
Yes,
those years. Kansas State
and
legend, by
so
the way.
by the way, and so I think that it's like a weird comparison because one is like in game and one is about retirement. But if you look
Sure.
at Puka Nacua and like his full everything he will do in his time on Earth, him retiring at 30 is kind of like Lockett in a way, kind of going down with the ball. And so
It's a mentality.
it's a longevity thing, not ending up like AB, and at the end of the day, I kind of want that for as many people as I could possibly
Yeah.
think of, I guess.
Hey, I don't wish that
Apparently
upon
I'm on
anybody.
AB's.
Yeah.
And so from that perspective, for Puka, that's great. I think that's
Yeah.
awesome. Obviously we hope that there's no injuries between now and then, and he's able to play out the full, up until 30. And I do think that him publicly stating that he's going to be done at 30, he might lose some leverage there. So I don't know how that conversation goes. Obviously I'm sure he'll figure it out, but I don't know if he's going to lose some leverage with that. So he changes his statement in a few years. And we have to remember this. Don't let us forget, in 2025, he said he's going to play till 30. Then when he's like, yeah, I want to play till 35, he gets a massive extension. Then he retires at 30. It's like, oh, who could have seen this coming? But outside of that, I don't think it's too bad from his perspective. As a fan, play till you're 80, bro.
I'll write it in my notebook, the one that I promise that I look at every day, but I've never looked at it after I wrote something in. So that's when I'll write it so we can remember as we look back to it. He said one more thing about these injuries, actually, in this article from ESPN. He said, quote, the injuries are something you can't control as part of the game, so you never know. Hopefully the rest of the career can go healthy, but you have a shoulder surgery, you have knee surgery, you have ankle. By the time my kids could be 18, I could be barely walking if you play the game and sustain all the injuries and stuff like that, but I want to retire early. He's thinking about the future. He's thinking about past football when you have already this type of money that he's had after playing college career, stepping up. Not a lot of people thought he was going to be this type of great receiver anyways, right? He stepped up and became an amazing receiver. The Rams lately have found a way to do that with Cooper Kupp, with Nacua. It's been one of these amazing things. The fact that you're looking forward, Ari, to the future as somebody who has a kid, who has a family, I would love to be able to be in that boat as well. So I can't blame him, but I hate knowing as a fan, I hate the conversation of what if with Calvin Johnson,
Right.
what if with Megatron, if Matt Stafford and Megatron had a more team around him, would the Lions have been something? if you would have demanded a trade and went elsewhere. If it was Calvin Johnson that went to the Patriots instead of Randy Moss, like what would have happened? Right?
Yeah,
Like those kind of scenarios. I've heard those situations. I've heard those bar conversations. You're going to have those same ones in 7 years if Nacua retires on top. Yet again, it's another situation. Another Barry Sanders. This time it just won't be a
yeah.
Lions player.
Right. Yeah, I feel like a lot of them are Lions players. I wonder if that's potentially something to look into. But
Was a
also,
culture thing for sure.
yeah, but also I do, I kind of mentioned the leverage thing with contracts, and this is another kind of crazy one. Okay, get ready for this because I just thought of this, so I haven't completely ironed out this thought process.
Off the hip. I love it.
Off the hip. What about if him saying he's going to play till 30 gives the Rams a sense of urgency? Now, that's a wild take because to say that they ever have no urgency like doesn't make any sense. Obviously, they're trying to win the Super Bowl every year, but also if it's like, oh, we'll be like if he's 28, it's like okay, he'll be fine. We'll sign him to another 4-year deal. We can get 4 years out of him. The window's 4 years from 2020, or I don't even know what year that would be, but from when he's 28. Okay, no. They know they only have 2 years now. So now you have to win within that time frame as opposed to adding some years onto that contract. It's just something to consider. I wonder if maybe him throwing out there being like, yo, like this is kind of my timeline. If you want to win with me here, then you got to kind of make it work within this area of time.
And that all turns back to who will be Stafford's replacement. When Stafford's finally done, who fills the shoes of Matthew Stafford? If it's not somebody who is an instant player that makes that team a contender, we might be seeing in a few years Nacua demanding a trade to go elsewhere so he can finish his
Right.
career on top. So you're right. That could be something really interesting down the line. All for something like this, a article that just was under the radar on ESPN in the middle of March during the offseason. This is something to keep in mind. Put it in that notebook that
That's
you're
why
always
you
going to remember.
that's why you subscribe to the 32 Blueprint because we cover this kind of stuff. We're here, we're in the trenches every single day.
There is going to be
We are getting
10
in depth.
super informed people. 10 super informed people.
No, they're
Very
sharing it with their
soon.
friends. Okay, they are. And
Be,
shout out
be
to every
number
single one of
11.
you watching.
Click that subscribe button.
Shout out to everyone watching, man. This is the group. This is our community, man. This
That's
is the
right. You're
real
the
ones.
OGs, baby. You're the OGs.